Breaking news, we just got the estimate on how much President Trump's legislative agenda will increase federal budget deficits. Let's go live to CNN congressional correspondent Lauren Fox on Capitol Hill. What are you learning, Lauren?
Yeah, this is a long-awaited estimate from the official bean counters on Capitol Hill, the Congressional Budget Office, and they are projecting that the House passed bill, as it was written and passed by the House, would increase the deficit by $2.4 trillion over the next decade. And let's just put that in perspective. For Republicans and conservatives specifically who wanted this bill to show more spending cuts than it ultimately did, this could be a problem for some of those Republicans. Meanwhile, other Republicans in the Senate, I just got done talking to Senator Thom Tillis, argue that the impact on the economy, if they do not pass an extension of the 2017 tax cuts, could be more colossally catastrophic than this projection from the CBO. Now, a lot of Republicans have voiced concerns with CBO scoring practices in the past. You also have Senate Finance Committee Chairman Crapo making clear that he believes that a clean extension of the 2017 tax bill shouldn't be scored as increasing the deficit at all. But those are some of the factors that are going to go into Republicans as they weigh this very precarious moment right now as they're trying to figure out what to do in the Senate, how much to change this bill, what to do in this bill. So it's really an interesting moment given the fact that the CBO score coming now almost 2 weeks after the House passed their piece of legislation 2 weeks ago.
All right, Lauren Fox, thanks so much.
Sticker shock. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office just released its highly anticipated analysis of the president's sweeping domestic policy bill. It projects the bill would increase the deficit by $2.4 trillion over the next decade, with nearly 11 million losing health insurance due to cuts in the plan. Now, opposition inside the party is growing, and this hour, Senate Republicans will meet behind closed doors to debate their path forward. But even Senate Majority Leader John Thune admits it's all riding on the commander-in-chief.
The president is the closer, and ultimately it'll be up to him to help bring some of these votes home. You got to start somewhere, and I think what this bill does is it makes an important down payment on ensuring that in the future those deficits and those debt starts going downwards instead of continuing upwards like it is today.
CNN's Kristen Holmes is live for us at the White House. So, Kristen, how worried is the White House right now about all this incoming fire the president is taking over his big bill?
Well, you got to remember one thing, Manu. This is Donald Trump's legacy. This is one of the most important things the White House thinks that it's going to do in the next 4 years. And so they are all in on this. So yes, they are getting a lot of criticism, but they are working overtime to try and talk to and work with these senators to get this bill through. Now, when you talk about how are they reacting to very specific pushback, we've seen what he's doing with Rand Paul. Donald Trump taking to Truth Social, attacking him, saying he has no good ideas. His ideas are losers. He says no to everything. Now, that might be because the administration officials I've talked to, there are a number of them who fundamentally believe they're never going to get a senator like Rand Paul on board. So it doesn't really matter how you approach someone like that. However, you're talking about pushback when it comes from, say, I don't know, one of Donald Trump's closest allies, Elon Musk. That might be a little bit of a different story. Now, this is what Musk posted yesterday, lashing out at the bill. He says, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it." Now, this, unfortunately, for the White House, came out during Carolyn Levitt's briefing with reporters. She said that Donald Trump knew where Musk stood on this. Of course, he is still moving forward, but one person who hasn't hit back on this is Trump himself. Now, I was told by one administration officials that Trump doesn't want to make this a narrative, that there's some kind of rift between the two of them. He doesn't want to make this the storyline. But I'm also told that there are a number of White House officials who aren't really sure that Musk pushing back is going to move the needle at all for these senators. Is it going to actually change anyone's vote? Of course, any of this could change at any time. Donald Trump could get fed up, lash back out at Elon Musk. But for now, we were told that he doesn't want this to be the storyline around this bill.
Yeah, he doesn't want it to be, but it certainly is right now. Kristen Holmes, thank you so much for that. And I'm joined by an excellent group of reporters here at the table. CNN's David Chalian, Sungmin Kim of the Associated Press, Jackie Kucinich of the Boston Globe, and CNN's Phil Mattingly. Nice to see you all. Okay, so Trump is usually one to fire back pretty immediately. What do you make of the fact that he's been silent about this? He's going to have to say something eventually. But it's been almost 24 hours, and this has been the dominant story, that his close pal here is just completely eviscerating his big agenda bill.
Yeah, obviously it's not a welcome development for the White House, for Thune, for Johnson. You see them scrambling up on Capitol Hill to push back on it. You see the White House trying to ascribe ulterior motives to Musk's thinking here. But it's not a welcome development. Now, to Kristen's point, obviously Donald Trump doesn't want this to be the thing, like a Trump versus Musk. We've seen this coming for months, right? We all remember the Time magazine cover when it was Musk at the Resolute desk and not Trump, and everyone was like, whoa, this is going to upset him. But he didn't want to take that on either. He is a huge political donor. He's the richest man in the world. He has been a stalwart of an ally to Donald Trump. I'm sure he's not looking to mess with any of that, and he'd rather deal with Musk on the side rather than make him the center ring of the circus.
And as the Notice headline put it, it's like mommy and daddy are fighting.
Exactly. I'll be interesting to see how much influence Elon Musk's opposition actually has on Republican lawmakers, because in terms of politics, he was really influential, mostly because of his allegiance and closeness to Donald Trump. And now that he's officially out of government, and he has also claimed that he's kind of out of political spending for now after what happened in the Wisconsin Supreme Court race, I'm not sure yet at this point how much that moves Republican senators. I mean, obviously people like Rand Paul will use what he said to bolster their position about this bill's impact on the national debt. But and a lot of people who raise the similar concerns that Elon Musk has about the tax credits for the green projects. I mean, they had those anyway for their own kind of parochial concerns. But it'll be really interesting to see if that, if it really does move the needle at all.
And just these are where the concerns are right now. This hour, the Senate Republicans are meeting behind closed doors. They're trying to figure out how to move ahead on this bill. They're still ways away from getting to an agreement, but they got to make those decisions quickly if they want this on the floor of the Senate by the end of the month. There's a big meeting in the White House this afternoon with the key Senate Finance Committee Republicans with Donald Trump. But this is where the concerns are among Republicans. Many of them are concerned about the Medicaid cuts that are coming. That new CBO analysis says that roughly 11 million people could lose their health insurance, a large part because of those Medicaid cuts that are in there, but also other health care cuts as well. And there's people worried about how this will grow the national deficit. This is, roughly $2.5 trillion or so deficits over the next decade. You see those members there. Others are worried about how this would impact the green energy tax credit. So, even though Elon Musk
is one of those.
Elon Musk is one of those, exactly, as the Speaker of the House pointed out to me yesterday. But clearly there are a lot of issues that are, regardless of Musk, there are problems with getting this bill, getting these members on the same side. So how is Trump going to be able to get these members on his side?
We know he's been on the phone, right? He's been talking to someone like Hawley, who's one of the ones that is concerned about Medicaid and is saying that they're not going to cut Medicaid. Does that mean but does that functionally mean it comes out of the bill? We'll have to see. I mean, and that's where, what is actually taken out. Will they
But
take
if they
out,
go too far one side, they lose the other side.
They'll lose the Freedom Caucus, exactly. But I will say, just really quick, going back to Musk and you're not seeing, sometimes Trump doesn't have to attack his detractors because the chorus around him goes after them. You're not seeing people really go after Musk, particularly among members of Congress who might want to back the president. And I think that's because he could speak with his wallet, right? Because he did say in one of those tweets that something about like the midterms or next November we'll see who will go after the members who betray America or something. I'm paraphrasing greatly here, but that's where he could have influence. And even if he loses, he could still make things very expensive for Republicans that are in his crosshairs.